Hello. I hope everyone's doing well. This music's a little loud in my ears. Hey, Avery MD. Hello, everybody. I'm Gregory Avery Weir, and this is Future Proof Plays. It feels like it's been a while. I think it's been longer than normal since my last stream. I'm not sure, but today I am going to be playing Call of the Sea. It's a new, relatively recent game from 2021, I think, that was recently free on Epic Games in possible preparation for a VR version that they're going to release soon. So I've never played this game before, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have some stuff to talk about it. So should be fun. While I set some options, I am half of Future Proof Games. We're a video game studio, and we do this every couple weeks. Avery MD takes the alternate ones, so I stream roughly once a month, and they stream once a month, and we play other people's games. And this one should be interesting in a few different ways. So let's see. Subtitles are on. Boy, I'm good with all of these, I think. Yeah, let's turn on photosensitivity. Let's see how closed captions goes. Sometimes there's too much captioned. I find Half-Life 2, it was a game that had too much. It was just constantly like rubble settling, head crab chirping, just constantly in that game. Presumably if you're have hearing issues, that's more useful, but for me it was not. I'm going to turn on VSync. Yep. Okay. Cool. I'm not using a controller. I don't think this is first person. All right. Let's go. Oh, before I start, I'm going to retweet the go live tweet. And maybe take a sec to... I'm going to re-choast as well. So one moment. Right. That's retweeted, and then I'm going to choast over here. Probably. One moment. Don't type in chohost.org. That's not the name of the site. All right, there. All right, time to play a video game. I know relatively little about this other than what's on their webpage. This seems like it's going to be a little Lovecraftian, but maybe not very Lovecraftian. All right, start new game. I have grapes in various forms.
What was that? What are
Last
those?
night I had a dream. Okay. So, yeah, grapes are great. Grapes are a great substance. I am swimming somehow. So, having a dream in which you're doing something impossible, learning about a strange, otherworldly place, that is 100% straight up H.P. Lovecraft. I don't seem to have a run, so I'm moving very slowly. And this is tied in with Lovecraft himself, who's an enormous racist. Um, was very preoccupied with like ideas of what things are accessible to white people and to Europeans. In what ways does mere contact and understanding with the unknown and the unfamiliar ruin you as a person and make you somehow tainted? Um, Lovecraft was
Here my entire life. I'm trapped in here.
a chessboard with one move made, one pawn on the board, one white pawn if we want to read too close. Um, and so a lot of Lovecraftian stuff and Lovecraft-inspired stuff is sort of has this underlying taint of racism and colonialism in the way that Lovecraft was probably seemed to be very concerned that he had black blood in him.
I'm
Um,
climbing these stairs again.
there's a lot of obsession with purity of blood and with dark things of families past being revealed and all of this.
I need to
Um,
get out.
we can definitely see here like the corruption of this sort of tropical space, this overseas place going into like normal, respectable American European architecture, like is even here. Um, so uh, this is something we're probably going to want to keep an eye on throughout.
It's broken.
The idea of mystical music,
I have to fix my old music box.
also, and of music and mechanization being suspicious, is part of Lovecraft as well.
Those horrible dreams again. I've had them repeatedly ever since my mother died and left me that music box in her will. Harry always said that old family heirloom had something to do with my family's strange disease. If the doctors won't give us an answer about your illness, I'll search for one myself, you said.
A hereditary illness that gives black spots on your skin as if your skin is turning dark.
I don't think I'd ever...
Pardon me, madam.
We'll see if this is critical or skeptical of these tropes or not.
Oh, thank you so much, Captain Hodgson. I'll be right out.
I thought about this a lot in
Time to get
updating the Majesty of Colors and like, is there anything in there we need to change? I think turns out I did all right. We didn't have to change much. But you can contrast like Lovecraft's obsessions with foreign places and with racial corruption and stuff like that with Edgar Allan Poe's, who Edgar Allan Poe was kind of a traditionally of his time sort of racist. He clearly thought that brown people were a problem, had issues with subhuman animals invading the spaces of women. Murders in the Rue Morgue is essentially this huge, weird crypto home invasion story. But Poe did not write a bunch of stories about how blood was corrupted or about how you mustn't even understand the foreign. The gold bug is not a Lovecraft story. And so, like, at time will be told whether this is a Poe-like story or a Lovecraft-like story. All right, is this left click?
Very particular taste when it comes to decor.
Do we have a goal? Like an objective somewhere? No, okay.
I think I've overpacked.
You have overpacked. This is going to be a adventure gamey, walking simmy sort of thing. To know what to expect.
Mer du Sud. Marvels of the Southern Seas, I think.
And here you're seeing like 1934. This is about right for like, the mystical Polynesian worlds. Like this is when Tiki rises and stuff like that starts rising, and then World War II kind of solidifies a lot of that stuff real strong.
I love this song.
We've got. We'll see if I have a backpack. I haven't gotten any indication of one yet. Interesting that we're getting I think a British or a German broadcast. We're getting a definitely European language broadcast on the way to Tahiti. So.
Ah, the amazing adventures of Nora Everhart, art teacher.
Journal. This may also serve as a backpack. Nora, remember this, 506. I wonder what the code to my luggage is. Right to change page. Can I do that? Do I have to use... Okay, I just don't have... Oh, I do have to use my arrow keys and not my WASD. I'm going to summarize these. Finally arrived in Tahiti. Finding information about Harry's expedition is turning out to be a tough row to hoe. Must have walked all over Papeete, asking about them. 74 miles east of Tahiti. Melissa, if you want to check what's 74 miles east of Tahiti. It's presumably open ocean. Okay, so the Lady Shannon went, is probably what took Harry to this mysterious island. Finally convinced Hodgson to take her. So interesting in this photo. Again, we're if we're reading this through a colonialist and racialized lens, we got a white captain, we got a white main character, we got 3 cheery brown folks and 1 shady looking white person in this photo. Top search results is this game. Okay, so probably not a real one. Okay, what's the star? Oh wow, we've got a lot. Okay, so Harry shows up, thinks that Harry writes a letter from San Francisco saying the illness here might be found in the Pacific. So presumably Harry is not suffering from this disease that's turning her brown, but is trying to help. Had another vivid dream, strange island, huge stone obelisk rising up. The idea of like ruins being threatening and ancient secrets best kept hidden. Let's not uncover the past, right? Because if you're, it makes very much sense for Lovecraft with his racial preoccupation to not want to delve into how did brown people get here, right? Like he doesn't want to be like, oh, why are there so many black people in America? Because that would lead it to be like, oh, because fucking white people enslaved them. And likewise, to confront the ruins of South America, of a lot of places in Polynesia, of a lot of places in Africa, is to confront that like a lot of those ruins are ruined because of colonialism. And so Lovecraft is like, let's not think about it. Let's not think about what could be in our past, what could be in our family, what our ancestors could have done. Because when you do that, you open the door to corruption. Very similar to people arguing against the 1619 Project and stuff like that. It's just Lovecraft did it through a horror lens. Keep waking up to odd dreams in the middle of the night. Still news from Harry. It's been months. So husband's been missing so last heard from them July, and then in September, an enigmatic sentence written on a photo of my husband, an ancient stone relic that looks like a knife, a brass key with the letters CW engraved on it. We're in a package. Find him 74 nautical miles east of Otaheite, which is the name of Tahiti. Presumably that's like a European corruption of the original name. Indicate that this game is trying to do something. Tahiti. Got the fucking passport stamp in the notes. Okay, must have asked special for that. Okay, and that's all our story so far. Curious things from my journey. Nora, remember this. All right, so right click. So is this packed by? It's 506, right? Is this packed by Harry?
All right, now it's open.
No. Okay.
Harry,
This is the mysterious message.
my husband, my partner, and my dear old pal. A brass key with the letters CW engraved on it, and some enigmatic instructions.
Okay. Okay, so I've got just kind of sitting in my notes is my inventory.
This
All right.
strange and sharp relic came in the package I
A
received.
weird ancient knife. Progressive knife. Progressive knife is an item from, it's basically a giant, like, breakable utility knife from Evangelion.
I saw this
Kind of looks like that.
in one of my unsettling dreams. I drew it as soon as I woke up.
That obelisk looks like a big key. Just wanna point that out. Huh. Curious things from my journey does not include that knife or that. Okay. Here's the island dream drawing. Presumably an item will show up here. I don't know where the knife ended up in the inventory. This isn't going to be a game with combat, is it? Like, my knife isn't going to be on my 1? That sounds like not this game.
Package at my house. I stored all its contents in my locked suitcase. I received a mysterious package at my home.
Gloves.
Oh, I'd better cover up my hands before I leave the cabin. I wouldn't want anyone thinking I'm a circus freak.
Yeah, goodness. Someone's hands being a little bit not pure white would be so strange for these people.
After spending so much time reading this book, I think I've learned a thing or two about Polynesian culture.
Yeah, I'm sure Gifford Patchett gave you a clear and full explanation of Polynesian culture.
It's not exactly a clawfoot tub, but you can't always get what you want. I miss the sea so
But if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. Okay. I think this is it. Let me know if my mouse movement is too
Okay, Nora. From here on out, you're on your own.
disorienting. This does a whole lot of like mouse smoothing and out of the blue.
Lower the motorboat. Be careful.
So on, but I can turn the sensitivity down.
We'll be back to pick you up in 3 days. I really hope you find your husband there, madam.
I hope it too. I'll see you in 3 days then.
But please be careful on that island. You know what the legends say about it?
I'll take care.
Mouse movement is okay.
Captain
I'll stick with it. I think that's it back in 3 days. I love a good low poly rock.
Here I am, in the middle of the ocean after traveling across half the world. Just miles away
Well,
from
I
where
don't know about low poly. Geometrically carved.
You left a year ago to search for a cure for my affliction. Your letters kept me close to you, but suddenly they stopped coming. What happened, Opal? What
Some sort of particle system freaking out over there? Maybe it splashes at the bottom of a waterfall?
crew and set sail from San Francisco to Tahiti, and from there to this place, an island in the middle of the Pacific that the locals refuse to even name.
And locals refusing to go to a place and white people going there anyway, and then something going wrong is a classic of all of this, like, what's it called?
The island I dreamed about?
Dark Island, dark something fiction. It was big at the time, and Poe did it. Lovecraft did it. A lot of folks did it. I mean, Indiana Jones is riffing off of a lot of this stuff. Is probably the clearest recent example. Okay, yeah. So that is a splash at a waterfall. That really is a big weird thing over there.
A breathtaking, idyllic island, surrounded by deadly reefs and protected with stakes to keep anybody from entering. Why?
Clearly, I should go in. Do I need advice from anyone? Do I need someone to help me? No, I'll be fine. I like the wetness of the sand. Okay.
Okay, Harry. Let's see if I can find any trace of you around here.
Any trace of you? Let's see. Well,
A tent.
boy, I don't have a
So
run.
somebody was on this island recently.
We got a catamaran, or an outrigger, I
There's an
guess.
outrigger canoe. Beautifully crafted, too.
I read about these in my book.
Well, that's a vivo. A flute that the Polynesians play with their nose.
This. Oops. There more to that?
That's a vivo. A flute that the Polynesians play with their nose. I won't be playing that.
It is gorgeous. Some of this has very strong. We did a lot of research on Polynesian culture vibes. I still want to see how much of this, her being a colonizer, her being like, play with your nose, I'm not going to do that. I wonder how much of that is intentional. Ooh, interesting. So I'm on a little bug here, an issue that isn't worth fixing, presumably wasn't worth fixing. So these leaves on these pieces of wood are a decal. It's being projected on there. So it looks like they're wrapped with leaves. And then the decal went all the way to the edge. And so you're seeing like the last bit of leaf smeared down the wood here. It kind of looks like moss, so it would make sense that like you wouldn't spot or fix that. But it's an interesting little technical thing. Okay, we got a machete.
This machete is completely worn down. The blade is dull.
Won't take it now.
A note written in French. I only understand 2 words. Île and mort. Island and death.
Let's see. À qui sont que lire ces mots? Nous avons profane cette île pour n'y trouver que la mort. N'allez pas plus loin. I don't know how to pronounce or read French. So, you can tell me. I think nous would be we. I assume profane or profane is a cognitive profane. Q is probably this K is probably what or some helping word. Nale. So I know that ale something is like let's go. So I'm guessing nale is don't go. Plu is probably more. Don't go any further, maybe. And this is maybe to everyone who reads this. Don't profane this island, or on pain of death, don't go any further. Something like that is what I'm going to guess. From the South Pacific Expedition.
It must be a warning about the dangers of the island.
We got some weird, like...
Something was dragged to the sea, and by the looks of these marks, it was heavy.
Got some trees down. All right, we got a cave. We got a gate over here. And we can kind of go further here, and there's like a placard. I'm going to check out the cave. No, I'm going to check out the placard first.
Quite good. I dare say I might even walk a little faster than usual.
So I'm feeling better than normal.
I know it's just resonance, but I do love listening to the sea in them. Looks like it opens from the other side.
All right. I'll be coming back that way at some point. Excuse me. This game is so gorgeous. They did an amazing job at like the architecture of the level to like have vistas like this little clearing revealed. The plants are very lush. Like they did a great job of like feeling like there are a lot of different kinds of plants and that they're like layered. Like there's these flowers and then there's this cloverish stuff and then there's like an underlying greenery there and then there's these green leaves and then this other kind of leaf and then this kind of tree and then all the stuff that's clearly made from local materials, all kind of blended together. It's really cool. I very much appreciate any work that is depicting an island like this, that it makes sense what everything was made out of, right? Like, ne trouver que la mort, part of that phrasing roughly translates to finding only death there. Okay. But I like, you know, if this had been a metal staircase, it would have been like, how the fuck did you get a metal staircase? Like, is that from your boat? What's going on?
These wooden figures are called Unu. This seems to be telling a story.
Okay, so I'm going to read a bunch of people went to an island. Okay, I'm going to check out that cave before I go further into the jungle, because it looks like this is going to be a whole story. Ooh, we got color grading shift here. So we went from warm outside. This cave's gonna be cold and creepy. I probably would have made that color transition start here instead of out there. That's fine, though. Uh-oh. See something through a window. It's gonna be creepy. Or unsettling, or tantalizing. Haha.
Those markings seem to represent the sea. I'll make a note of them in my journal.
Okay, so we're going to be learning a language. That's cool. Arrived on the mysterious island. I'm still missing. I feel like I'm missing a photo or something there. Maybe I missed a clue. Okay. I keep hitting escape to close my inventory. That's not the right move. It's a right click. Is there a zoom? There is not. There are two birds flying very close together. I feel like that's a thing where there's an animation playing on a loop, and I happened to get it when they were just barely in phase. One's playing a little bit faster, and they just happen to have caught up. Or else they're just like slightly offset circles. Reminds me of placing the balloons in the Majesty of Color Remastered, where the balloon, there are only like 5 balloons that actually exist in that game, and they float across the sky. And if you... we did a decent amount of work to make sure they didn't spawn at the same height as other balloons, so that there wouldn't be like 2 balloons traveling the exact same path together through the sky, which was a little tricky to tune properly. You can still, if you really try, get it to do weird shit. Got a broken barrel. All right. So, some folks built blockades to protect against a sea monster, which they killed and put flowers around or something. That's how I read that. Weird vignetting in this area. Very dramatic vignetting. That darkness at the sides of my screen that's meant to be like, you're in a dark place. But it's relatively dramatic.
A bone fish hook.
Okay. I think that's everything here. We've got, I think I saw one of these with flowers around it previously, and this one has raffia or a vine wrapped around.
An offering of mother of pearl. Quite valuable for the Polynesians.
Is it called mother of pearl if it's just the shell?
It may look peaceful, but clearly somebody wants to keep outsiders off this island. What a lovely flower offering.
All right, we got more to this story. So we've got a bunch of people lowering someone else to a monster, someone with a triangle in the middle of their chest that matches the triangle in the strange pillar. Someone with the triangle being hunted by other people and getting on a boat. Are these lines? Okay, these lines here might be chapter markers. Okay, so yeah, we've got chapter 1, a bunch of people. Chapter 2, they catch a monster. Chapter 3, they put the monster in the pit and lower a special person to it. Chapter 4, they chase the special person away. And the special person seems to be going away from this island to another island. 5, person comes and talks to a different ethnicity, maybe? We've got solid body, triangle body, and rectangle body. And some people come back to this island with spears and fight blank body folks and end up blocking off the monster. Is I think how I read that. Got a knife. This is the third sharp object I've come across.
Box. CW.
Oh, the mystery solved.
Initials on the brass key. It opens it. So
And not going to be a game where I have to figure that sort of thing out. Okay, there's a secret key. I'm going to say another key.
This is starting to look like a scavenger hunt.
So that key. Okay. So theoretically, our order of events are Harry. Is Harry the name? Nora, dear, this is no ordinary island. It's Nora? I'm not Nora. I am Nora. Okay, so I must be talking to myself. Nora, dear, this is no ordinary island. I'm talking to myself. Okay. So the package had the key in it, which means that either Harry sent the key, not having been here yet, or someone else sent the key after Harry locked that container.
Oh, look what's hidden here.
Got a stone mushroom key.
From what I've
Yes.
read, the Polynesians don't need doors. So why build such a big one?
Don't need. What does that mean? The Polynesians don't need doors. And they surely have doors on, like, their chicken coops or equivalent. Got doors on their fishing weirs. What, like,
It works.
even if you're like, they don't have a concept of ownership in their society, which I don't know is true, if that's true of the Polynesians, but, and also, I feel like saying the Polynesians is generalizing heavily. Pretty sure they had concepts of doors, even at this point.
Private property. My childhood in Newburyport wasn't exactly the most thrilling thing.
Yeah. Now is when you need to be worried about trespassing, not when you landed on the Forbidden Island. This is 100% the kind of game that I devoured as a teen slash young 20-something. Like, yeah, give me just a fancy mist, please. The Everhard Expedition.
Harry? Herring, you were here. You were here and I found you, damn it. Where are you now? Where is everybody? Where did you and all your crew go?
Okay. Vaguely recognize some of these people from the letters. I'm going to guess we're looking at 5 European, or 5 Americans probably, and 1 from somewhere in Polynesia, perhaps Tahiti. Contract a package.
Name sounds familiar. I'd better check my journal.
So Lady Shannon is the whaling vessel that they got passage on. Contract a passage for 6 people, fragile instruments, several boxes of equipment, weapons and explosives, supplies for 3 weeks. From Port de Papeete. Papeete is in Tahiti. Oh, I can zoom in. Oop. Okay. Bunch of canned food. Alright, now I'm gonna guess this is gonna be a barrier of some sort. This looks like a bridge that I'm gonna need to figure out how to open or something. I love these red plants.
A mechanical bridge? That doesn't fit in with Polynesian traditions either.
Read 1 book on Polynesians. I'm super convinced. Alright, we got a picture of this island. We got a code. We got a code we need to enter.
Those slot machines that Harry and I saw at the Atlantic City Pier. But a Polynesian version.
Okay. So that's a combination I'm going to need to have the solution to. So, I mean, some of the tropes that this sort of story is interacting with are super obvious, right? Like,
It's been years since I took such a long walk. This fresh air is doing me wonders.
here's a place known very well by the indigenous folk of the area. They know what to do with it. They're keeping it safe. But when white people show up, they can figure out a deeper secret and be able to understand the history of these people far better than they did, because, you know, Europeans just have so many inherent advantages of their viewpoint and so on.
What a beautiful mountainous landscape.
Okay, so that symbol presumably means mountain. Yep, okay.
I can feel the air is denser here in this mangrove swamp.
I don't know if Polynesian cultures tended to have writing. I'm just not sure. I feel vaguely remember that maybe Hawaii didn't before Europeans showed up, but I'm not sure that that's the case. Oh, are these numbered also? Is this a 4?
Rays of sunlight shining through. Another symbol.
Okay. I feel like this is a game that doesn't expect me to take notes. But maybe I should. So the sunlight had 4 fingers extending from it. I don't have a map either. Okay, this also has 4. Oh, this is 3 of 5 removed. I'm gonna real quick note that maybe mountain is 3. Sun might be 5. Cora comes up way too high in search results for cultural questions. Yeah, Cora is terrible in every way. And that you can get extensions to browsers that will make Quora just stop existing for your browser. So, highly recommend that. All right, this has the same finger arrangement as the sunlight one, so
This sort
I'm
of
not too
pond is a
concerned.
Polynesian fishing technique. There's another symbol inside it.
Yeah, Polynesian fishing technique involving basically doors. What do you? Come on. Yeah, this is a relative of a fishing weir. Essentially, it's the fish come in and have trouble getting out, and you collect them. It's a very common fishing technique. Various places.
Now that I've crossed half the world, I wouldn't mind crossing the other half.
What does that mean?
But I have to do it with you, old pal.
Okay, another way to that symbol. I like these weird ass mangrovey roots. What? Where's that? Where's the? What's the tree there? That at the tree maybe with a bunch of weird roots. Plant stuff here is gorgeous. The set dressing is just amazing. These glow in the dark flowers, just backlit. Okay.
Oh my, this is so beautiful.
The huge fucking
What were these birds
tree.
Lorikeets. Cole's lorikeets.
Cull, huh? Cull's lorikeets. Interesting. Big stone rib? Like, was this a cave that kind of shattered open? Very curious. Okay. So we don't know this symbol yet. Don't know many of these symbols. Hey, lorikeets. Are you going to fly away when I come close? Very slowly. All right.
There are lorikeet feathers scattered around this unu. I'll draw the symbol in my journal.
I'm now envisioning, like, walking through my neighborhood and seeing a birdhouse with just bird written on the side of it. Being like, ah, that must be the word for bird. This word written on this object must be the name for the object. Oh, I see. The name for truck must be U-Haul. Cute birds. Home sweet home doormats, this is true. But imagine if someone looked at a doormat with a symbol on it and was like, this must be the symbol for mat. I mean, one could assume that these maybe exist in order to teach symbols for some reason. Like, okay, well, y'all white people are here. Now, I guess might as well understand what's going on before you die. Okay, I don't see any more of these interactable. I'm gonna need to, like, write them in order. I don't feel like I have an order other than the order I found them in, which is non-deterministic. It's non-standard.
That's convenient.
Just a regular Dark Souls gate. Okay, well... hell.
Harry said that he would go to the end of the world to find a cure. And by the looks of it, he wasn't lying.
Yeah, boy, this end of the world 40 miles away from where just some people live.
Harsh the truth.
Just some fucking people live real nearby. It's not the end of the world. Okay. Back to the bridge. So is this... yeah, okay, alright. So we've got a symbol, we've got a picture here that we're making up with the symbols, right? So we've got 5, and we'll presumably get... no, we've got all of them. 5 symbols, 5 concepts, alright. So sun at the top, which is... sun at the top. Then mountain. Oh, nope. Then Birds first? Birds first. Okay. So birds, then mountain, then water, then fish.
Well, I guess I hit the jackpot.
I very much appreciate that it's clear how this is all working. Like this isn't some mist, like weird mystical tech. It's like no. Once you line everything up and press the button, there's a physical key, like something fit into these holes that allowed this to rise, and then this rising released, well, that part's a little mystical, but maybe there's something underground or something that they connected to that goes under the water. And then this gets pushed by the current, and the water current lifts it and counterweights and all that. So, like, it's at least like believable that how this worked. Oh, come on, this is a very steady bridge. Unless this is not going to break when I get across it. I like the forbidding stakes. They're just like, don't climb the what's it called, the banks of the river. You have to go this specific way, but stay out. We won't put it across the path though, because we need to be able to get here to maintain all the weird statues and traps and shit. Wind in the branches. This is definitely giving a stronger, like, adventure vibe, like tropical adventure, than Lovecraftian mystery. We'll see. So if you joined us since the start...
How long have I been walking? I've lost track of the time.
This is Call of the Sea. I am Gregory Avery Weir with Future Proof Games. Wow. We did not make this game, we're just playing it. And this is cool. So yeah, folks, well... What's the money on these were built by Harry and his folks to live here long term, and these are from folks who live here. I'm going to guess this is from folks who live here.
I'd better have a look around this abandoned village. Harry's crew might have...
Oh, got the basalt column stuff. That's pretty cool. I don't know if they actually show up in the Pacific, but this is a fake island anyway, so I'll accept it. Big ol' head.
This enormous stone slab looks like a mechanism to get up to the outcrop. Is something missing here?
Alright, this is a mechanism that's going to be like weird mist tech. They're not going to justify this, right? That's my guess. Got a
tiki, like something straight out of an adventure novel.
I forget how tiki work. I forget how fucked up that that is. That there was a tiki there in that game. In this game. So a bunch of their crates, presumably empty, I'm guessing. So they did stay here. I appreciate that
be some sort of guardians.
That these crates, it makes sense how they're moved. Like these are crates that you don't need a pallet and a forklift to move. Game is doing an interesting job with scale and space. Yeah, I think so. Like I feel like I've trekked through the jungle, and I feel like the geography all makes sense now.
Fascinating.
These ancient geometric stone structures are not Polynesian. What do you mean they're not Polynesian? Not Polynesian culturally? So, another thing about how Lovecraft and other like ancient secret hidden on an island stuff goes is if there's super tech or, you know, weird mystical shit, it's never really weird mystical shit that the indigenous folks understand. It's always from a more ancient culture, this like aliens or monsters or previous inheritors of the earth, because it's very important to the worldview of sort of the Lovecraftian adventure story that the non-white people can't genuinely have any special claim to the knowledge, right? It's like, oh, I looked into stuff that's tainted somehow with non-whiteness, but also it's not an ancient power that brown people have. It's this other thing that is dangerous to be with. So it's like, wait, is the danger that you're dealing with like you're not actually the problem isn't actually you're being infested with otherness there, right? It's that there's you discovered a new race to be afraid of. Weirdly weird, fucked up worldview.
Looks like some of the crew members didn't get along too well.
Yeah, the clearly Pacific dude from the Pacific. He's warning us about those ruins. Oh, he says that some sort of forbidden ritual took place here. So yeah, I mean, this is a bit of artistic license. You wouldn't have been able to take an action photo like this at the time in these circumstances. I don't think. I don't think you've got film that would last this trip that would let you take a snapshot like this. Might have mentioned this when pointing out those plants earlier, but having those red plants be at roughly chest height provides a particular sense of crowding that just trees and ground cover doesn't. Paradise Killer does this well too. Yeah, like these spaces feel full, like without having you like push through leaves or anything. It definitely feels kind of overgrown and like this is not just a path.
Polynesian man covered in tattoos. I'm not sure if he looks angry or scared.
Probably both. He's a bunch of
What well?
Americans. He doesn't want to be near the ruins. Why is he so afraid of that well?
So
He gave us one of
magical pal?
he gave one of these amulets to each of us. Only Harry kept his. So, your magical brown person is giving you talismans to keep you safe. Big old turtle shell. Excuse me.
So, you said you've been on this island before.
Yes. Some years ago. I made a rookie mistake. I did it from my fishing route to go to what looked like a better spot. Less than an hour had gone. I went suddenly. My canoe overturned. And I got this lovely souvenir from that mistake.
Heavens, what gave you that scar?
It's not a what, but a who. I don't know. I didn't get a good look at it. But it seemed like a secret.
It's the monster in the pit.
Anyway, I was lucky enough to reach that Whitesand beach. The one where we landed on the island. A man came 3 days later and got me out of there. He brought me to the port of Papeete without speaking a single word. Time passed, and I promised myself that I would go on with my life and forget about this damn island.
Why did you agree to return to the island then?
Y'all paid me.
I need to know what happened to me, to discover the truth. I don't know if you get me.
Absolutely.
I wonder if that's an accurate accent. I don't know what a Polynesian accent would be. Every time I say Polynesian, assume that I'm putting air quotes around it. Pretty sure that it is. If it is a specific term, it is being used broadly here. What is this? Looks like a tea whisk. Basket, presumably. Like a tall basket. Fresh basket, still green. Dice.
I've never cared much for games of chance.
I forget how to play poker dice. It's a whole thing.
This fella sounds pretty hot-headed.
Cuna's godforsaken island for just a few days, and it's been almost 2 weeks already of doing nothing. Is a rich jerk gonna open that hatch? We brought dynamite for a reason. Okay. Someone wants to push ahead. Okay.
Blowing an ancient hatch with dynamite sounds like a fool's errand to me.
It does sound foolish. 9.5 feet safe distance from dynamite doesn't seem right. Okay, so they took the elevator up. That's the elevator here at the bottom. To the top of that tower where there's a hatch. Is this going to be dynamite? Oh, this is going to be a missing gun.
Expect on this island, but I hope I won't regret not having a gun.
Is this, I'm going to guess this is 2 bullets and a cleaning rod? That's my guess. Still food left. Big bag of something. Mirrors are hard in video games. Razor. I have a razor just like this. Well, mine's metal, but it's a good razor design.
This much about their appearance in a place like this.
Do we have that picture? Oh, it took note of these Yukis. I'm just skimming to see if there's anything new. Okay. I mean, person who's taking care of his hair has to be one of these two, right? I think Harry is this dude. But yeah, one of these two is using hair cream. It's not Hat Dude. I don't think. One guy has just like a little fro. Or just a shaved head. And dude's just rocking on Admiral over here. I'm gonna guess it's Harry. Winchester M12. Alright, so there's a shotgun missing.
When they came to this island.
With 6 shells. I feel like... I hope there was also an ammo crate. This Sweet King canned corn. There's some canned corn. That sounds tasty.
Quite a looker. A fashion model, maybe.
To Roy, the best stuntman in Hollywood. Okay. This is guy who cares about his appearance. So this is white-haired dude is Roy.
Looks like this fellow was a real heartbreaker.
Got a bunch of pictures of folks just kind of out on a table, admiring them.
Costas?
Apostolou. So, Greek, looks like. I wonder if this is what a passport looked like. I assume so. It's kind of cool. I'm not sure what happens if you don't turn in your old passport. Maybe you need to pay extra if you need a replacement. They take that shit real seriously. Passport stuff. I've gotten a passport to travel to Russia back, like, it turned out to be, as the trip arrived, the first big Russian invasion of Ukraine. There's some serious shit that they do.
Oh, damn it. Someone on the expedition died.
That's an interesting That's the correct reaction, I think. Being like, fuck, is it Harry? Oh, good, it's not. Oh, you need to renew your passport?
A message from a friend.
I guess we'll have to finish our game in the afterlife. Rest in peace, Pally. Huh. It's an odd way to keep track of a game of poker. They're just tracking who got which hand results most often. Is that how you play poker dice? Or dice poker? I don't think so. Huh. This is interesting modeling because it's unclear to me whether this is supposed to be dirt or rock. Found American dynamite.
Did they use all the dynamite? Explosives. Looks dangerous.
It would be fun if this game, I just keep finding empty boxes of stuff that I'd like to use.
What a delicate piece of craftsmanship.
Sorry to cut you off there. Okay, I have a feeling like the greens here are going to be significant. They don't actually appear on the in-world model.
He seems confused, as if he was having a hard time writing this down.
If anyone needs me, I'll be in the medical tent up on the flat outcrop after the explosion crossed out. And the opening is, I need something. After what happened, I'd better find out more about the well, Dr. DeWitt. And DeWitt is not Roy Granger. So we got, I'm going to guess that's DeWitt in the hat. Which, is that that can't be the same dude that was on the ship, right? Probably not. So I'm going to guess one of these two is Dr. DeWitt. And this dude looks a little more doctory. He's not in overalls. It's Harry is Everhart, I think. I think it's Harry Everhart. Oh, whoa. Did they repurpose something else?
They used the emblem as a headstone for Roy's grave. This one resembles a shark.
Huh. Proud for spotting that. That ended up in my notes? It did. Gorgeous game.
I hadn't been close to a grave since my mother's burial. Shortly after she died, my lovely Dalmatian spots, as Harry used to call them, appeared. We thought it was nothing at first.
What the fuck is that? It's so big. I like these almost cartoony waterfalls. It's good. Like the amount of realism decreasing with distance is a very like good aesthetic principle here. Or it's like these are just painted on. There's no way that mountain is at that angle, right? That mountain would be impossibly tall to be that far up in the air. This is gorgeous. These basalt columns really happen. I don't think you'd get them overhanging like this, but
It doesn't look safe.
they're the giant's something. The giant's footsteps, the giant's footpath or something. Giant cobblestones. There's a name for the most famous place where these basalt columns appear. These showed up in Myst 3. This geological circumstance. Hey, little dragonfly. I think there would be more bugs in a real jungle, but they're doing a good job of representing them in a way that wouldn't be too taxing or annoying.
An amulet with a carved Marquesian cross. The symbol represents balance and protection.
Giant's Causeway. Yes, it's like in the Hebrides or something. It's in Europe, I think.
This little fellow. Why is this hammock so far from the rest of the campsite?
Okay, so this is the Islander. Do we have a name for this guy? I feel like we got a name of the Islander. Anything more over here to pay attention to? After seeing that there was a hidden symbol on the back of something, I'm now a little vigilant. I wonder how accurate these plants are. Like, are these all like the plants that you would find in the Tahiti area? Or are these like fantasy tropical plants? Okay, we got another. Is that our original bridge? No, this is a new one. Okay. So another bridge to unlock. Just like in Myst, you got to turn the power on to everything.
Pretty swanky.
In Myst, you have to turn on power, and here apparently you have to open a bridge. Northern Ireland, Giant's Causeway. Okay. Yeah, another totem. Another, sorry, tiki.
I've seen Harry
Hey,
in restaurants
jigsaw puzzle.
for bookkeeping. He would never tear up a piece of valuable information.
So I guess I'd better abandon it then, huh? I was doing a jigsaw puzzle game just the other day, just to pass the time. None that I'd recommend. But the order of the symbols is important, it says. No, they're not. I can't move entire groups. Like, I can't slide that entire piece. It's not stuck together. I generally don't think you should include established puzzle types in your game. I'm fine with this sort of jigsaw puzzle. Like, generally, don't do a puzzle that is just like, oh yeah, I know how to do this from life. But this is particularly harmless, I think. Okay. Family symbols. They seem to represent sea creatures. The order of the symbols is important. What is the connection with each tiki? Okay, boy. So yeah, okay. So the shark tiki was near. Shark symbol was near this tiki. So maybe it will just get 4 here with the 4 sites. Okay. It's a drum right there, I think. I think that's a Polynesian drum.
It's been ripped out of something else.
Okay, so we need to find a thing that's been ripped out of. Got another tiki. Okay, so that's where I need to enter the code.
What mess did you get into, Harry?
Mr. Everhart, we deeply regret your refusal to accept our funding. Wish the best of luck on your journey. So the Starry Wisdom Society from Providence, Rhode Island. Stella Sapientis, I think, Starry Wisdom. They were going to fund Caleb, being a name often associated with the devil, Bowen being something that implies witchcraft. This is your classic witchy cult that wanted to work with Harry, but he refused. Okay.
No drawings.
I think it's an elevator.
Considering how poorly Harry draws, this isn't half bad.
Remains from old civilization related to disease. Object here? Ancient mechanism? Yeah, Harry, good job. So clever.
But Frank seems to feel guilty for whatever happened. I feel really bad for him.
I still don't understand what happened. Roy knew just as well as you and me that the black ooze was highly volatile. I should never have believed him when he said he had your permission. I feel responsible for what happened. Oh, interesting. The text here is, I feel responsible for what happened. Here it is, it won't happen again. I wonder if they revised that because dude died, so it doesn't actually make as much sense for it to be, it won't happen again. By that time, they'd already made the graphics. Is this a door that's going to open? A secret door? There's something back there. Feels like maybe the secret door will open when I finish that.
Look at him. Giddy as a schoolboy. Ichor?
Black ichor, crossed out ooze. Ichor is the blood of the gods from Greek myth, and often shows up in relation to like weird monsters. Maybe the blood of the Titans, I forget. So he's got, I think, the keystone to that elevator in that picture.
You put together quite an expedition, Harry. And all just for little old me.
I mean, to be fair, also, he clearly was super into this shit. Oh, this looks like it is from the Starry Wisdom people? No, they used a triangle. Uh-oh, eye turning upside down.
Where did you get this strange device, Harry?
Tillinghast Spectacles Lens Aligner. This is some mist shit right here. Size. Grid. Meter. What's this? Huh. Am I missing an affordance? I must be missing an affordance.
I'm not really sure how this thingamajig works, or what to do with
There's
it.
something else I can do to make this make sense, I feel like. Excuse me.
The Harry Everhard I know would never have given up on this. Something must have happened that kept him from solving it.
So frustrating. I know I'm close, but I can't find the right combination. University of Denver. Stationary. Black ooze in a telescope. So we're using the black ooze to somehow align a telescope? Are we going to get a The Room style telescope that reveals mystical shit?
Of existence. That's bats.
Tillinghast Spectacles Lens Aligner. Concentrates the resonance wave spectrum and optical expression. Observing the lens will affect the subject's pineal gland, well known to Discordians, allowing them to gaze into other planes of reality. Okay. Okay, here's my telescope.
What's missing here?
Alright, so I need to align a lens, and then I'll get a working telescope.
This explains why the campsite is nearly abandoned.
Tell the others to pick up as fast as they can. We have to get to the Black Sand Beach. Something's happened at the ship. Bring only what's indispensable. The pineal gland is it provides hormones, but like mystically speaking, it's long been associated with like the third eye because it's theoretically a vestigial gland. Although I think we figured out what it's for now. But for a while, people talked about it being a key to some sort of transcendence or something like that. The Discordians are joking, i.e. they firmly believe it, we firmly believe it, but I think a lot of people weren't joking when they firmly believe it.
My dear old pal, I know you won't ever read this letter, but I'm accustomed to writing you and it comforts me in this strange place.
This animation is cute.
This island is riddled with secrets. So many secrets. But I'm
There's
not
my
only
key, I
talking
think.
about mechanisms and contraptions, Nora. I dare say that something on the island clouds one's judgment. Otherwise, I don't have an explanation for Roy's actions.
Yeah, the music is a bit dramatic, Avery, MD.
Arrogant, impulsive, and a little cocky, but he was no fool. We weren't friends by any means, but he didn't deserve what happened to him. Nobody deserves that. We may have made some progress in finding the cure for your illness, but at what price? I miss you so much, Nora. Harry.
He may not say it explicitly, but Harry blames himself for Roy's death. I know him too well. And I miss you too, Harry.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I think I gotta solve this. What am I missing here? There. Plus minus reset. I've got a meter here. That doesn't change it at all. Nor does that. Alright, so if it's small, I get 0 on the meter. Having it larger than nothing makes it bigger. Makes the meter go to 1. I've got this red line going to different spots. Maybe I don't have what I need yet. I've still got that. I've got that tiki code to figure out. I've got one symbol. Has it been matched? It's been matched to one, but I'm not sure how that's decided. Somehow I can get down below.
He hated asking his parents for money to fund this expedition. The Everharts are a wealthy Boston family, quite old-fashioned. They were never really pleased with his eldest marrying a middle-class girl. That's why he wanted to get away from them as soon as he could, just like his siblings did after him. It's broken, but I might as well draw what I can see of it in my journal.
Okay, so this is clearly the manta, which is with tongue sticking out person? Is this a new tiki? Yeah. Okay, so maybe it's going to end up being top layer has to match the turtle. Next layer has to match the fish, etc. Okay, I see these. I see all the symbols now.
It's some sort of Polynesian coat of arms. Is that
Octopus with crossed arms, cool.
an octopus?
That one's the missing symbol, presumably. Which, yeah, we found the turtle. Okay, so we've got them all. Maybe this will be the key to fixing the lenses. Okay, so top layer, turtle, sort of spiky crown. Yeah. All right, next layer, fish, is, say, spiky eyebrows. All right. Next is the manta, which is tongue out, and then arms crossed. Cool. I like the special little icon for crawl under this thing. Okay,
What kind of stone is this? I've never seen any substance quite like it.
There's the ichor in the
Disturbing.
gaps. Interesting. Okay. So I've got that now.
This appears to be the shrine of a Polynesian chieftain. Wow, really old photo. The island is wearing a lot of tribal ornaments, but none of them seem Polynesian.
Yep, they're playing it straight, folks. This place isn't Polynesian. It's pre-Polynesian or something. It's a trick you can do if you're like, well, I want to make an evil sacrificing cult, but I don't want to pretend that they're like that the Polynesians are like this. I think it's not a great trick. Okay, let's see if that's the key. A cloud in front of the sun? Is that what's going on over there?
How is that possible? What fascinating technology. Oh my!
The magic of an elevator. How could they possibly do it on this island? This can't be the Polynesians. Alright, so they blew up on the ground. Some more of this weird ichor. Are we gonna get like blood a place? Oh boy. That's a whole thing down there.
I'd better not touch it. And given what happened, they shouldn't have either.
You can touch this part. All this part does is make a spark. That part's safe. They were like, we only need 9.4 feet. Looks like they needed more feet than that.
Is this stone structure a hatch of some sort?
A hatch of some sort. That phrasing feels like someone watched a lot of Lost and is using Lost terminology for things, even though Lost had a hatch. But this was more like a slab on top of a tomb. I'm not sure I would use the word hatch to describe this circumstance.
Erythrocytes. Aren't those red blood cells?
Undefined substance pulsating, affecting red blood cells. So, some numbers don't work out. I'm not sure what that means. Like the counts are high, which would suggest that it's causing an immune response, maybe? Oh, hey.
Is this
My hand, presumably.
my hand? Those spots look all too familiar.
So someone else has my disease.
Cripes! This man was splashed with that black liquid.
That's the doctor, I think. Who? The woman took this photo? I think? Maybe. Or the guy in the overalls. Unless this is the guy in the overalls. I think this is Dr. Harry Roy. No. This has to be Dr. Overalls Man, Islander, Roy here. And then the lady is taking the picture. Unless... Yeah,
Whoever took
I
this
think so.
picture must have a really cool head.
Oh boy. This July 17th. So we've seen well highlighted, ship highlighted, July highlighted. This is interesting. The spots on my skin are moving. I can feel them. And then crossed out, I can feel them. Is there someone in the well? The well? I can hear voices at night. What has been written repeatedly and crossed out? Overalls Man is my favorite labor organizer superhero. Yeah. In fact, I could swear they're calling my name. I heard Nora in my vision at the beginning of the game. And who is playing that music? And then we've got some spots.
Skin alterations. Like the ones on my hands.
Skin alterations appear to my left hand today. Similar angiomas, allergic eczema, cyanosis. Let's hope not. I took some photos of my blood to analyze. Some samples of my blood to analyze. As for the photo of Everhart's wife's hand. So I think this is the doctor that got splashed.
That ooze again.
That imbecile Roy blew the hatch to smithereens and blew himself up with it. Don't worry, Doc. I have Mr. Everhart's okay, and this is just a controlled detonation. Ha! 3 feet closer and I wouldn't be here to tell the story. I got splashed with that black ooze, and it took me the whole damn evening to clean it off. Okay. Oof.
He's losing his mind.
Slop Kinja Slop 1879. I'm guessing that's on Scandinavian language, or the double A's, the DJ. Stop playing that music. A lot of eyes. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. I like it very much. There's a lot going on. Not crazy enough to write on the back of that paper, though.
I can't stand the smell of medical equipment. Reminds me of my illness.
Reminds me of my illness. Is a strange construction. Like, if you're chronically ill, I don't think it's reminders of your illness that you're worried about. I think it's reminders of the unpleasantness that, like, reminds me of being in the hospital when my illness got bad or something like that.
I'm going down. Come on, Nora. Deep breath.
So I'm wearing gloves. Is there going to be a big reveal later on where I, like, look at my hands and they're, like, so much worse? A good old horror movie ladder. You can't see anything around you. Or horror game ladder.
Is somebody whispering? Hello? Is anyone down here? Were these eyes related to the ritual?
Okay, so these eyes have spots, and we've seen these. Ooh. That's creepy. Oh.
This eye. Is it calling to me?
Melissa, could you put a jump scare warning on the channel topic for me? I would appreciate it.
Ornamental. Or something else. Do they have 2 pupils? I feel disoriented down here.
Yeah, I think these spots are similar to what was showing up on those lenses and on my hand and so on.
I can press these star-shaped tiles.
So they turn goopy when I press them. That one doesn't do anything. Thank you for updating things.
Another eye. I hear whispering.
So yeah, a black ooze that infects white people and turns them into monsters. This is some classic Lovecraft shit.
I hear it. I'd better draw it just in case.
Also a big Lovecraft here to be the thing to be like a strange mystical thing. I'd better note it down to make sure everyone else can find out about it.
Am I imagining all that?
This is looking like I would call this Aztec or Mayan in general appearance. Depicting some critters, some folks in masks, either putting stuff in someone's eyes or pulling it out of their eyes. And then here is a bunch of folks with weird eyes seeing the stars, drowning.
How old is this mural? It looks really ancient.
The classic boy, we're finding really weird things that suggest that these brown people had a civilization that extends far earlier than Europeans were part of it. Oh, it must be that there were mystical aliens, and it can't possibly be that this is just an old culture.
You were close to something here, Harry. Let me see if I can solve it.
Rituals, other realities, forgotten civilization, not Polynesian. Black ooze used to replicate ritual. Check Tillinghast pamphlet or Tillingast pamphlet. I mean, this is you can draw clear parallels between this and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which is the one that has this weird temple and folks ripping hearts out in weird mystical rituals and things like that. And like, oh well, it's not the local people who are doing this. Really, their mystical shit's getting stolen by an evil cult, which is like not actually better.
Harry.
Modify Tillinghast's invention. So we're replicating the ritual by putting a spot in your eyes. So some sort of signal goes into your eyes and makes you able to see stuff? Is that the idea?
Maybe he heard the whispers too.
Mr. Everhart, the doctor's been acting like an oddball ever since he was splashed with that black ooze, and he's got worse after moving to the top of the cliff. Keep an eye on him. Frank. And there was some liquid that stained it. I don't think that's blood. I think that's just water. Making the ink spread. Alright. Gorgeous, gorgeous environment. I think they did a great job on the water. And like this flowing caustic coming out. Which might be... Yeah, it's the geometry is changing on the water itself. Excuse me. And then those ripples are just a transparent shape. Okay. Face on that drawbridge.
Well, that was easy.
Is this just a shortcut? Yeah, I'm gonna end up on up top. Is it gonna save some time if I have to go through this animation every time? Okay, do I have extra options with this device now? Or am I still missing something? Okay, so this is at least a new position. Okay, I've got these 3 eyes. Oh, can I? Okay. I can duplicate this middle one if I make... Oh, am I? Hold on. 5, 3, there. Little dot. And then in the center, a big dot? Is that what is that a thing I can do? It is. Okay. So that's one of the lenses that I've just created there, right? I think. Meter is still low though. Do I align all of them? I do. Okay. So I've got a big thing there. And then like... sorta... there. Or there. I do a medium spot. And then north of here, a little one. So in case it's not clear, I'm overlaying all three of these together and trying to generate an image that's everything together. So that would mean far right side, I need to do a big circle. Okay.
Yes, I think I solved it. I wonder what I might be able to see with this lens.
I wonder... It's unclear what the mechanism is supposed to be for that. Is it applying goo?
It fits.
All right. What am I going to see? This might be scary. We might see more goop. We might see more surprises. This is some mist shit.
What on earth? What is happening?
That's the combination for the bottom of the well. Cool.
My God. What was that I saw? What were those stars?
I appreciate you having a guide up. I think the note system for this game is great. I think it's done a great job at like I don't feel like I have to take notes. All right, swoopy like that. Then rotate it, which is annoying. This way. And then around the circumference. I get to this corner. Swoop back left. And then right again.
All right, looks like I solved it.
Am I going to go down further? Is that what's going to happen?
Great
Yep.
Scott. The well is filling up. That's black ooze.
Oh, this is the sacrifice thing that was happening. Yeah.
I'm feeling faint.
Maybe we should push it with a stick. Achievement unlocked.
What is this? Where am I?
I'm just drifting.
Am I dreaming again? This is different. It isn't my recurring dream. I can't stop walking. My legs aren't responding.
Oh, hey, it's Dagoth Ur. Or wait, is that the Morrowind person? Who's the... Wait, it's just Dagoth is the Lovecraftian sea god.
What is that creature on the horizon?
Holy Moses. Dagon. Dagon is the Lovecraftian god.
Wait a moment. No! 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 Ah! I can breathe. Underwater.
It's a little weird how this is aping some plot points from Soma.
I have to find...
The something weird happened to me and now I can inexplicably breathe underwater is just a plot point from Soma.
What is that? What kind of creature is this?
What is what? Oh, that. Do I turn around?
Get a closer look.
Is it going to be a submersible? Yeah, okay. Yeah. This is just a plot point from Soma. Of like, oh, I've turned into something that I didn't expect to turn into. Spoilers for Soma, although I didn't actually spoil anything.
What happened? Oh, how did I get to this beach? Oh, I have a terrible headache.
So yeah, people turning into weird fish monsters is a pretty standard Lovecraftian thing. Is that what the Dunwich Horror is about? Dunwich Horror might be about miscegenation and secretly having a monstrous sibling. I forget what the beachside story is. Go back and finish Soma. I think it was a pretty tense game, if I recall. I have not finished Soma. I want to finish Soma. I mean, I think Soma's doing interesting things. Like, I think Soma's plot is interesting to me. I would love to know exactly what's going on. I think I got far enough to understand, like, the big plot beats of, like, oh, here's what the world is like. Because Soma's a game. It's a walking simulator, a lot like this one, but it's got some, like, horror-y void monsters stuff, which you can like turn down there's like an official sanction mod or something that's like, oh, the monsters won't chase you, but it's doing things with like, what is identity and what is the body, and what if you were in a place where there were beings that couldn't tell what their body looked like, and or had some sense of self that rejected the nature of their physicality. Cool shit. I'm not quite sure what this story is telling. Like, I don't know what Call of the Sea is trying to say.
What on earth could have happened to it?
So this is the ship that Harry came in. Harry? What's the name of my husband? Okay, so can't remember that vision of the monster or the fact that I'm not human anymore. Murals tell a story of a ceremonial ritual involving a black ooze. Were they injecting it into their eyes? I'm not sure, but I think the islanders tried to imitate it. The distinction drawn here between the islanders, who are whatever Polynesian people lived on this island, and the ancient beings who are not characterized as islanders, that's a problem. And it's not clear to me whether the game realizes that it is a problem. Maybe it does. Harry is my spouse.
I wonder what else could be seen beyond these shores.
Got some lights that are out. Yeah, they're connecting to a power supply.
Ropes are frayed, and there are strange marks on the wooden pole.
I need to turn the power on so that I can see whatever symbol is being projected there. I love these like hanging ropes and cables like the legs of a spider. Good shit. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be turning the power on here.
From the stranded ship.
So there was some point at which they were like, oh fuck, something's happened to the ship, which we know was a sea monster.
The expedition only has 5 members now.
Oh, okay, so there were 6 people total. So yeah, so Ray just wasn't in that picture. Okay. Or maybe that was Ray's hand, and it still could be either Harry. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was. I'm not sure who was shooting in that photo, right? Because did that photo not get stored? That photo might not have ended up in my notes, or yeah. So I don't get to review that explosion picture. It's fine. Alright, where's some generators? This is gonna help everything.
Inside the tents.
I know.
No power.
Alright, so I'd be going this way. Right, cable. It vanishes in the darkness here, or goes further along. Okay, goes further along. Whoa, that's cool. Cables. I'm gonna focus on power for now. That son of a bitch DeWitt stabbed Frank. Luckily, it was just a flesh wound. It's a good thing they held me back, or I would have plugged that fucking, presumably, nutcase like the rabid dog that... Jesus, what am I saying? So...
Never seen Harry so angry.
Yeah, we got something clouding the mind. A very Star Trek-y sort of circumstance. Okay, where's the fucking power generation? It's not over here. These are all lamps. This is some sort of control device. Wires go this way. Some wires over here. Is it going to be in the ship? I feel like it's going to be in the ship. Some sort of device with gears and shit. Hearing clanking. Is that pulley? This is genuinely creepy. Yeah. Okay, it's in the ship.
My God. The ship's hull was ripped open. A few jagged rocks couldn't have caused a gash of this size.
Like, this is legit, like, I don't fucking know what's gonna happen here. I mean, clearly there's a giant, clearly Dagon tore the ship open, but I don't know what new horror I'm gonna see. The activation points on these ladders are all bizarrely low.
This place.
The slow climb up a ladder is a classic trick. Fear does this. Fear has like a creepy Japanese horror girl show up at Japanese horror, the genre. The girl herself is not Japanese. Her name's Alma.
I can't see any trace of the ship's crew.
But it has a creepy girl appear when you reach the top. A few different games have done that sort of thing. Lady Shannon out of Sydney.
Daddy's a door now.
Okay.
This isn't right. I'll try again.
Is this just trial and error? The fact that she's like, I'll try again, suggests it is.
Now, what exactly did I turn on?
The generator. You turned on the ship's generator. That's what you turned on. The power to the ship. Some games have the annoying, I figure out, or the player figures out the story way before the character does. I'm a little annoyed when a game is like, the protagonist doesn't know why they were trying to solve a puzzle that the player knows was a puzzle.
That voice. Is that Harry?
Yeah, she does seem a bit confused by basic things.
No, just a recording.
It's clearly a recording. Bud, but it's clearly a recording. It sounds like a recording. Why would you think?
And I was completely covered in that black goo. I wonder what it'll do to me.
Everything on this rotten island has something to do with that damn black ooze in one way or another. The ancient ruins, the ritual well, even Dr. DeWitt's irrational behavior seems to be related to his getting exposed to that awful liquid. And then it's like, liquid? Question mark, liquid? I smeared some on this paper for fun.
Perplexing.
Yeah, if that noise came out of someone's face, I would be like, what the fuck is going on? Black ooze chest changes consistency, levitates when exposed to different vibration frequencies. A bunch of frequencies crossed out. Alright. I'm actually going to leave this on.
Apparently, Harry's expedition waited for a long time to be rescued. Did they give up hope?
Yes, you've been in a Doctor Who episode for a while, my friend.
What were you looking for in the heart of the island?
It's nice that she has a voice line for every piece of paper. It is a little weird picking up a piece of paper, starting to read it, hearing her talk, and being like, oh, okay, hold on. Okay, now I can read. I was thinking this expedition had failed and was worried about how we'd get home. How we'd get home isn't in the written stuff. But then I found those stairs that led me to that giant stone organ. It might be another way to get to the very heart of the island. Are we talking organ like a thing in a body, or organ like an instrument? In any case, there's nothing we can do until someone hears our distress call, which I am going to leave running. I've wired up your...
Certainly a resourceful man.
Thank you. I've wired up your message to the video like you asked, Mr. Everhart. It'll keep broadcasting as long as the ship's got fuel. God help us, Frank. And Frank helpfully included a thumbprint. The ship log.
And the crew of the ship that brought Harry's expedition to this island were afraid of it.
Delivered 6 members to the island. We'll come back to pick them up in 3 weeks if there's anything left. Might get whales. Oh. Huh. That's all.
This is the captain's last entry.
Good weather and clear sailing until a surprise undercurrent took the ship. I haven't seen the sea that rough in years. First mate, 7 hours later, first mate swears he saw a huge sea creature near our hull shortly afterwards. Definitely not a whale. Stay gone.
The ship was whaling not far from here.
So Tahiti, Wales. Unclear what island we are on. Unclear to me. Although, notably, this implies that, like, not only are we near Tahiti, but we are surrounded by other inhabited islands. Right? Like, this place is at the end of the earth. No, it's literally not. Like, there's an island called Disappointment further away from land. Okay, there's still one thing I haven't looked at in here, but I'm taking a look at everything else first. Okay.
Maybe the legend is more real than it seems.
On the island of Ponape, there's a city called Non-Modul that's composed entirely of large basalt structures. Legend has it the city was built with floating stones moved by black magic. I wonder if that's true. Nan-Madol, is that a real thing? Nanmadol, Melissa? It is, okay. Is it a real, like, mysterious thing? Ah, another classic puzzle type. Capital of the Saudeleur dynasty until 1628. Is this 2 of 3 in place? Is that the idea? No. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, we want them all floating at this level.
I'd better write down those numbers in my journal.
Alright, so 3 random symbols of goo floated at a some. Okay, so there is a real legend about levitation of stones at that location, at non-model place to worship a god of agriculture, flying dragon. Okay, so maybe they're pulling in real local legends. 262349415. Is that in my thing? Yep. Okay. So we got power. Power goes this far. That is on. Go back downstairs.
Only God knows how long I've been covered in this black liquid. I wonder what it's going to do to me.
It's gonna turn you into a sea monster, and it's the same as your illness. Or maybe your illness makes you immune to its worst effects or something. You're gonna turn into a fish person. I should play... Is it the Unsinking City? There's a Dimension 20 campaign called the Unsleeping City, but I think it's the Unsinking City that's the weird RPG that's post-Lovecraftian, that is genuinely like, hey, maybe it's okay for some people to be fish people. Stop being such a fucking judgy person.
At last, some light.
Okay, cool.
Things easier.
Alright, so we got lights pointing at these weird notches.
Ropes are frayed, and there are strange marks on the wooden pole.
Can I, like, clearly this is trying to be a shadow or something, right? Maybe I need to hang something on those marks. I am not going to finish this game, by the way. It's something like 8 hours. I guess I'm going to finish this part. I've been playing for 2 hours. Play a little bit longer.
The menu is rather limited here.
What is the limited menu? More canned corn. It's a different shape of canned corn can than before. Can I go this way yet? Was there another exit that I missed? No, this is just a back area.
Kind of improvised.
I like a canned corn. I haven't had creamed corn in forever, and it's a very solid way to eat corn.
This
Oh, hey.
must be the highest part of the island. And that diamond shape again. How striking.
That huge diamond shape. Cream corn is sus.
You made it work, Harry. Now it's my turn.
I feel like I've made cream corn once. I think cream corn is just... I don't think there's... does it have cream in it? I'm not sure. You can do a thing with corn to make it creamier. That's just using the starch in the corn. I'm not sure how it all works. Sorry for the reveille this morning. I didn't expect to wake all of you up with the noise from that awful organ. The good news is the organ revealed the entrance to a temple. The bad news is the temple is on the mountaintop, so I hope you're in the mood for a good hike. All joking aside, if the temple has the answer to what that I'm looking for, we can finally leave this damn island and go home. Thank you all for sticking with me. Harry. Harry, all the people on this expedition tend to emphasize things by circling them, which is not how anyone I know emphasizes words in notes. Frank.
Harry
Great.
isn't usually very chummy, but he really seems to like Frank.
Harry's been fucking Frank. Great idea. We'll move the materials we need to the summit so we can set up camp there. Just another thing. Please stop calling me Mr. Everhart. Call me Harry, as all my friends do. Soupy liquid of milky residue from pulped corn kernels. Okay, yeah, so it is. It's just... It's... creamed corn is refried beans of corn, right?
What kind of machine were you building?
Tubes, sheet metal, screws, piece of the mast. Frank, if we want to enter the...
Reason the ship was scavenged.
If we want to enter the temple on the mountaintop, we'll have to reproduce the effects of the organ somehow. I know we weren't planning on this. We'll have to build a machine with whatever we can lay our hands on from the Lady Shannon. Do you think we can do that? The scale of this metal is good. I think this is something like realistic scale, and the like huge, the thick metal and the jagged edges to it and the way it was torn. I was like, okay, I clearly I get a feel here for how bad this attack was. Which I don't think we've seen any evidence of like survivors from the wreck. These spare lights, I don't think they're wired up to anything. Okay, so this is some of this titanic, colossal architecture. This Brobdingnagian. What's the... There's a word that Lovecraft uses a whole lot to talk about big things. I forget what it is. It's one of his weird, evocative purple prose words. There's the way up.
When I get back home, I'm going to read up on engineering. I've been interested in knowing how things work since I was a child, but I always thought technology wasn't for me. What nonsense.
Yeah, girl. Go... Girl boss it. What the fuck? Why is this the point where you're like, I should look into machines? Huh, you know what? I should stop doubting myself and my abilities. So that's a different diamond thing than we saw, right? This is way too small to be the one we saw from the shore. There's a whole other area that I haven't explored. So presumably this isn't going to be the way forward.
The door looks like an exit. How does it open?
I would say it looks like an entrance. I suppose it is a matter of perspective. Is there more of that goo here? I feel like there's more of that goo like on the corners of things, and maybe flowing?
This ornate structure certainly isn't natural. Not man-made either.
There, see, again, with the, it's not man-made, yeah, flowing up, or maybe it's reflections from the water down here. What do you mean not man-made? We could build this. Like, people could build this structure. What part of this structure is clearly not man-made?
This feels ominous.
I don't know what that does. Is this the well? Okay, so we can control the lighting. Boy howdy. Okay, so we've got a bunch of... So these, I think, correspond to these switches. Got a bunch of shit there. Someone's been sleeping just out in the open around these. Right, so lots and lots of switches. I appreciated that this was in a box. Like, that paper would not survive. Open, closed, tuning the organ by opening and closing the right tubes. Okay. What part of the mechanism did they build? I feel like we haven't seen that part yet. This is very missed. This structure, like this is missed shit. Okay.
Those symbols seem to indicate the height of the tide.
All right, so we're at low tide. Almost. I like that, whatever the fuck that is in the distance. Okay. No real indicator what any of this means. I really like the steam rising up. Doesn't seem quite natural, quite normal. This is just darkness. I like that looks dark over there, even though we know it's lit up. That bit of unrealism is very cool. Okay. Heading back to camp. Hopefully find an idea of what the key is to this. Because, I mean, I could just turn everything on, but I feel like that's not the solution. Yeah, back to camp.
I'm quite scared of storms. When I was a child, I used to cover myself with the sheets to not listen to the noise of thunder. I honestly doubt I'd like to cover myself with anything in here. Time to overcome my fears, I guess.
I mean, you could put a hat on. Like, wear a cloak. It's kind of misty. Storming. Be sensible. Wouldn't be cowardly. Okay, what stuff is here? Something's going dink. Yeah, so they're clearly like trying to lead me to a place.
Seem to get along pretty well.
Huh, I wonder why. What could they have in common? Frank, okay, so Frank is overalls dude. Frank and Tehoroa. Okay, we got that name. Singing while working in the workshop.
I'm glad you stayed by his side, whoever you are.
Frank, I understand what you're saying, but can't leave Harry here alone. I know you must be thinking I'm only interested in Scoop, but what would you do if it were your wife who was sick? Would you let her die? I'm staying here to the end. Okay, so C is a journalist, and C must be the woman, presumably the one that took the picture at the explosion.
Looks like Frank wanted to leave, but I don't know if Harry ever read this letter.
Miss Ward, so C. Our lives are in grave danger on this island. Look what happened to Dr. DeWitt. The man is going completely bananas. I really think we should get off this island as soon as possible. Mr. Everhart was determined to leave until he found that organ thing. Do I have your support to try to convince him? So Frank is trying to get Miss Ward to leave. C. Ward, who says, no, we can't leave him here. So Harry's like, Frank, you're my friend. And Frank's like, we have to fucking go. We have to go.
The doctor was certainly well supplied with all kinds of substances.
Hydrogen peroxide, wild. Absinthe. I don't know what peridrine is. Wormwood is Mild poison, not huge poison.
Doctor was certainly well supplied with all kinds of...
Something Zidane reagent.
Oh dear. This doc was a certifiable loon.
Yesterday the stones danced with my song. My song... that different language, everything is tuned in this place. There's a treasure, and then back to that European language, and then a weird language with apostrophes in it, and PHs and NGLs that must be alien, and foreign, and mysterious.
It's really dirty.
Okay, so this is DeWitt's hat. Is it DeWitt? Is it really DeWitt? Is it really DeWitt? Hold on, because DeWitt is the Bioshock guy.
Oh dear.
Doctor... Yeah, Dr. DeWitt. DeWitt is the Bioshock Infinite main character.
Discarded clothing. It hasn't been worn in a long time. A handkerchief with the letters EDW embroidered on it. It's stained with blood and black ooze.
So the doc might still be around here somewhere. I haven't spotted any, like, mysterious figures in the distance, but that's the sort of thing that this sort of game would pull.
I really hope they didn't rely on Harry for it. When he lived in the dormitory, he only ate out of tomato soup and corn cans. I've never seen anybody with such poor nourishment.
I like both corn and tomato soup, but that's gross. This has the vibes of we realized we had a lot of corn cans, and so we added something in the writing so we could skip putting more variety in our canned food. I hope we don't find out that Ward is having an affair with Harry or anything like that. Ward? Is that the right name? The journalist. That's a good touch. That's a good note. It's the sort of thing that, like, could be pointed out. Like, I could have figured out on my own and would not have. You know what I mean? Like, it was possible, but I wouldn't have realized that. That's a good thing to notice. So they're down to 5 now, essentially, because DeWitt's so sick.
Take some amulets from the other campsite? Or did he call... Someone took notes about some important dates.
June 30th, arrival on the island. July 1st, we set up camp. July 14th, Roy blows open the well's hatch. July 24th, we strike camp and move to the beach. July 14th, last entry, Lady Shannon's ship's log, same day. So the same day that Roy blew up the well's hatch is the day that the ship was attacked by a sea monster. Which, by one of these diagrams that might not end up in my log. Oh, that whole structure is an organ. I hadn't read those as pipes. Do we have a picture of... Because there were those very early... I forget what they were called. There's a name for them. Nope. Yeah, those placards that told the stories. One of them depicted like a creature trapped in a well, which might have been that black goo well that we were at. Okay, this is a little on the nose. Tales from Beyond.
I love Chandra Hogarth stories.
Okay, yep, this is... I'm going to say here, being 100% uncritical of H.P. Lovecraft, because Chandra Hogarth, I think, is supposed to be a Lovecraft figure. This is the kind of magazine that the stories will be published in. House at the End of the World, End of the World. This is a classic Lovecraftian thing. Escape from Arcadia by Trevor C. Hills. So. Oh, weird lighting. Something odd with the lighting where it's like, it gets, while it's moving, it's doesn't get full lighting, and then once it stops moving, Unreal is like, okay, now let's give it proper lighting. The cream of weird stories. Like the cream of weird stories. Eric Zahn is direct. My favorite Lovecraft story probably is The Music of Eric Zahn, which is basically like there was this weird part of town, and I stayed in this apartment, and it was a really strange part of town, and there was a big wall in it, and there's this wall that like all the apartments were up next against. I'm not sure what was on the other side of the wall, more the city, presumably. But I lived near this guy, Eric Zahn, who was a violinist, and he played this weird music at night. And I was like, hey, Eric, what's that weird music you're playing? And he's like, I don't play any weird music. It's like, okay, dude. But I totally hear it. And he's like, leave me alone. And then I think Zahn dies, or disappears mysteriously. And main character goes back up to Zahn's place, who's on the floor above, and his windows, he always had all the windows closed, and dude opens up the windows and sees that Zahn can see over the wall into this strange otherworldly space, and is like, oh no, I'm freaked out because I can't handle looking at things. And the protagonist runs, flees, abandons his apartment, goes out into the rest of the city, and then can't find his way back ever again. Sort of a magic shop combined with, oh no, this dude was playing weird music about a strange otherworldly scape. Good story. Missing a lot of the shittiest things about Lovecraft from what I remember. Of course, it probably has weird racial shit in it somewhere. But anyway, this is convincing me that this game is not going to be like, hey, turns out racism is bad.
Photographic film.
Take it with you. No, take the film. Take the film with you. Unless, are these theoretically unexposed? I guess they're probably unexposed if the paper is still on them. Word of Blake News Agency. We've again got the triangle with the eye. So we've got the Cassandra Ward. Oh, Ward is a name that shows up in Lovecraft, I think. So I think the implication is that Cassandra Ward, again, Cassandra, the eye symbol, prophecy, people don't listen to her. Cassandra Ward's tied with this cult that wouldn't give him money, and it's going to turn out that she's an evil cultist. Cult and Rituals, an interview with Inspector John Raymond LaGrasse. I feel like LaGrasse is another name. By C.D. Ward. Okay, so she's been studying cults and rituals. Strange incident in Massachusetts. Gardner family vanishes from the Arkham farm. This is the Arkham horror. Shadow over Innsmouth is the one where everyone turns into fish people. Arkham Horror, I think, is... No, Arkham Horror is the board game. Arkham Shadow... Maybe Shadow over Innsmouth is the fish one. Not Colorado Space. Dunwich Horror, I think, is the one about the Gardner family. Robert Sweetum and his wife found dead at high seas. This is the Pacific Adventure story that Lovecraft did, I think.
I believe Harry
Newbury.
visited this exposition when he was looking for answers for my illness.
Newburyport Tiara exhibition coming to Boston. I'm going to guess that's another Lovecraft thing that I don't recognize. So, darkroom.
So, is this recording? Mm-hmm. Well, shouldn't we be listening to something?
Oh, that aha was spelled weird. I bet that's how they spell it where they're from.
So it should be fixed, Mr. Everhart. I don't know. Maybe it was never meant to play music.
It's clearly Frank.
Where have you been this whole time?
Oh my god. He's got a knife.
Get off me, you lunatic!
So Frank got hurt.
Call the Aroa, quick!
My God. Look at his contorted...
Sorry, it's weirdly comic.
happened to me.
It took the four of us to subdue him. Where did he get that strength circled? Multiple people circle things for emphasis in this story.
Definitely do not look human.
So fish people. Oh, I remember that. The notches in the... So they had DeWitt tied up and he turned into a fish person. Like I turned into a fish person.
This picture is taken from a distance. What is he doing?
Oh, it gets dark when I zoom in. Probably because it's physically moving in the game space.
Floating rocks?
Doctor seems to be whispering to some rocks. Are they floating? Okay, so he's singing to rocks and making them float because of the weird resonance thing. Oh yeah, they... no, these have tape over them as well, so they didn't model a separate used film canister. Okay, so this is Cassandra's space. All of this. She's been studying weird cults and shit, and maybe isn't working for the cultists, but knows about this shit. Probably isn't working for the cultists. She's your classic Lovecraftian plucky adventurer type who's documenting everything carefully. Big broken stone. Okay, so we've got light here. I'll start over. Oh, is there anything in this pile that I missed because the lights were off? Broken radio. Okay, nothing. The mist structure, which this game is 100% using, is interesting because we're going to get, presumably, we're going to go through this cave, solve one more little puzzle, and then end up at the end just seeing like a piece of paper or a carving on the wall that tells us the combination to get to the next place. Like the structure is very straightforward. If I would be very impressed and surprised if they subvert that, but like that's the way these games work. Tide levels measurement. Harry Everhart. Okay.
It might need to be turned on. I hope you didn't borrow this slide projector from the University of Denver, old pal.
What? Okay. So they're all off by 1. Like 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4. 5 is a horizontal line, 6 is a vertical, 7 is a plus. Okay, that's a different correspondence. Ah, okay. So we are at...
This is the right one.
Yeah, we're at second to lowest tide, and that's the correspondence. We're off by 3. Okay. So... Alright, so this log put the facts together for us. That DeWitt was tied up and then escaped. Sea level is 2. Oh, hold on. Are we not getting that correspondence? That's the correspondence we want, but I'm just gonna nope. 0 becomes, well, 1 becomes 5. So plus 4, right? 7 symbols plus 4. 7 plus 4 is 11. Minus 7 is... No. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 minus 7 is 1. Okay, yeah, so it's plus 4. I already read this note. Talking about killing DeWitt. Oh, okay. Now I get to write it down. Cool. All right. I've been studying this structure. The tones it emits change consistently with the tides. Huge stone pipe organ. Oh, cool.
Like this, out of stone.
Waves push air through carved stone tubes. This is relatively simple, my friend. Like, there are passively cooled structures right now for you that have been around for thousands of years in the deserts of the Middle East. Like, those are just built out of bricks. This carved out of the ground? Sure, why not? What part of this is hard? Why do you believe this can't be done?
Captain Hodgson told me that knowing the lunar cycles is useful for better navigation at night. So Harry probably took this calendar from the Lady Shannon.
Okay. So we're finding out new moon and full moon. So if we need to... Okay. So... Do I know what the date is. Unknown civilization. It's November 7th. So it is the new moon.
A rock stained with black ooze. Looks like the prototype of something.
So that's the prototype of the floating stones. Okay. We're still, I think, missing one part of this code, which is like, what is the combination we should be entering?
Wow, look at the size of these stones.
South Pacific Expeditions, megalithic basalt stones. Which, it's funny because this is not a megalith, because it's made of multiple parts. I guess monolith is megalith is just big stone, so I guess that's technically correct. Oh no.
What kind of doodad is this?
Okay, what's the code I need? 262. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. So we've now got... Is that all of them we need? Not all of them yet. Okay, so 262 is there, 349 is there, 415 is there. This is basically a puzzle from Myst, except that made accessible to people who don't have perfect pitch.
It's well
Which, to be clear, totally behind, totally in support of. Aha, okay.
These symbols are linked to the piano keys.
So I think we've actually got the code now, right? We've got we know what tones we want to press, which is we want to do these 3 tones. We want to, they correspond to these symbols. These symbols correspond to other symbols because of the sea level. The fact that it's the new moon feels like it should enter into this somehow, but I haven't seen any notes suggesting it. That might be extra information. Maybe if I couldn't tell whether or not it was low tide, knowing that the new moon was happening, and maybe I can go outside and see the moon and see it's not quite new, and so it should be off by 1, maybe. Maybe I can get a view of the moon from here or something. Oh, there's a whole lot here.
It's curious, but it's the first time since I got sick that I feel useful. Harry is depending on me, and not the other way.
The hole in the tent looks like an eye. I'll check it out. The idea that Harry is depending on you is a stretch, my friend. Okay.
What odd structure. It doesn't look like a building, though.
Is this just... I could have found this earlier. Yeah. So activating the organ turns on something at the top of the mountain, so maybe that's ultimately where this path goes. Weird stone that I'm standing on.
Sometimes I still doubt whether this isn't just some ghastly dream.
This is just a lookout, maybe? Maybe giving me another chance to spot that path. Okay. So nothing else up here, I think. Found... There's those stairs. Maybe that door will open. Maybe that is a door that will open. Now, though, let's go play some music. Oh no, the door is up there. The door's off of the organ. Top of the mountain. This must be a path that will lead to the top of the mountain, because it's clearly not the top of the mountain, right? Like, we're on the shore. The mountain's inland. Oh, I forgot to check the hole in the tent that would look like an eye. Sorry about that. Maybe it was a secret. Okay. So, we need to activate certain of these. We need to activate 262, which is 1, which becomes 5. So we need to make sure 5 is active. Two is 415, so 2 needs to stay active. Which, is that correct? 2 is not active. Okay. 2 is open. So that's 7, which corresponds to 3, which corresponds to 311. So this should be closed. It is. 3 corresponds to 5. 5 is 392, should be closed. Oh, the new moon. That's why we needed to know what the new moon was. Okay, 1 corresponds to 4, which is 349, so this should be open. What are we looking at? What are we looking at here? Got. So 1 is 4 is 349, should be open. 2 is, oh yeah, this offset is not a direct shift. It's a reverse of some sort. 2 is 5 or 6. 2 is vertical line, which is 415, which should stay open. 3 horizontal line, nothing. 4 plus 466. I need to find 4 and close it. Which is a 4 and a diamond, right? 4 and a diamond, not a plus. 3 is supposed to stay closed? Yes. Two vertically, so horizontal line is really what this is. Is 1 is 262. This should be open. So the ones we want open are 262, which is a dot, which is a horizontal line. We've got that. 349, which is the 4 in a diamond shape, which becomes 1, which is open. And 415, vertical line, becomes 2, is open. Yeah, so we need to close a vertical line and 4 in a diamond shape. Okay. Now I just need to find and close the vertical line. Yes. How far would this be? I feel like it wouldn't be on a separate landmass. Right? It's interesting that this... I can't do trial and error. Like, I can't... I mean, I can hit the button, but it'll just be like, nope. It kind of prompts the question, how did they figure this out? How did they tune this and construct it? Alright, vertical line, vertical line, vertical line. I missed one. Horizontal line. Huh. Let me know if y'all spot the switch with a vertical line on it. There was a stone like this, maybe at that other campsite. I hope I don't have to go back there. Alyssa, if you've got a thing handy that happens to tell where these are, let me know. This is probably going to be my last puzzle, because I assume this is going to open up the next area. Aha! Found it. Thank you for checking. Alright, let's play an organ. Holy Mike. So this bit, perfectly reasonable for you to be like, how the fuck did they do this? that Chivo popping up, I don't know if y'all see those. That's fucking distracting. Holy Mike, I mean, she said Holy Moses earlier, so maybe Mike is a euphemistic way of saying Moses. So is this the mountaintop that it opened something up on? So dark it's hard to see. Is there a weird sea god out here anywhere? I don't see one.
My dear old pal, I think I'm getting closer to understanding what is happening to you.
I think that's a cute way to refer to your partner. Dear old pal.
This island and its ancient and unfathomable wonders may seem, it's also a place plagued with misfortune and calamities. We lost Roy at the campsite. We almost lost our engineer on this beach. The doctor went mad and stabbed him with a strange knife.
That knife's the one I have.
Initially, we were optimistic.
I mean, all because of this island is a stretch. You're leaving out some steps.
Discouraged. Even I can feel how I am constantly assaulted by dark thoughts.
This one time I really thought I was gonna kill this dude.
Going through here helps me find you a cure. It'll have been worth it. I hope to find an answer in the temple on that mountain peak. Love you always, Harry.
He is worried, exhausted, disheartened. I will find you, my love.
I wonder if they revised that line because it was like, well, you can't actually hear him. Huh.
Let's see what the next one does.
I feel like this might be a bad idea. I feel like maybe you shouldn't be raising these enormous structures. This is a cool image, though. I really like the, impossibly large, cyclopean. That's the Lovecraftian term, cyclopean. Not to mean single-eyed, but to mean giant. often said about ruins. Like, Lovecraft would be like, the Cyclopean passages, and he means big. He means the big passages. Where do I go from here? Is there another? Oh, there's a center button. This music is appropriate, I think.
That's it. That's where Harry must have gone.
Ah, the weird... Is that goo? Is that just goo pouring out?
But I don't feel this island is dangerous.
You don't feel this island is dangerous?
As much time here as Harry did.
I think your senses are questionable. This island looks very dangerous. Like, Harry hit a reset button on all these puzzles. Maybe whoever sent the package deliberately reset everything. There's something in Myst. There's some Myst game has a place. Maybe it's Myst 4 and the Achenar and Cirrus areas where like the puzzles are solved. Like the puzzles that were supposed to be there, that were like native puzzles, have been solved by another character, and you're coming along behind and like trying to get through, given that they fucked all the combinations up and have put their own traps in place and stuff, knowing how everything works. Because I think one of the conceits of Myst 4 is that the prison ages where Sirius and Achenar are trapped, the red pages and blue pages boys, that they're supposed to teach them lessons. Like, Atris made lesson ages that were supposed to help his sons learn to be moral, but instead they just kept doing the bad things and subverted the lessons. The game's not great. Not the game's the worst Myst game, but that's a cool plot bit. So I think this is where we'll call it. We'll see this cutscene or whatever. The vanishing of the Lady Shannon. Chivo. Is the storm gonna be over?
Oh, that was quite
It's different. Chapter 4. Quite a show. Suddenly much less scary. Alright, so, I have been playing Call of the Sea. I think this game is lovely. Okay, the Chivos pop up and they're rather big in the center of the screen. It's very distracting. This is Call of the Sea. You should check it out. They are actively working on a VR version, which I bet is great. This seems like a game that would be very, very cool to explore in VR. Although I can see various ways in which it would be tricky to do so, but it seems well suited for it. I'd say check this out. If it's doing anything interesting with Lovecraft and making up for the fact that they're choosing a fundamentally racist colonialist shitbag to base all their shit off of, I don't see it. Here's a note for folks who do like cosmic horror and want to do that sort of thing. There are other writers that are considered part of the Lovecraft circle that did better. I mean, Ambrose Bierce is a pre-Lovecraft writer that's done some fucking amazing work and was anti-racist. Like, had his issues for sure, but his work does a lot of the stuff that Lovecraft does without being xenophobic in the way that Lovecraft stuff is. And there's other works in that. If you're interested in modern, contemporary, like recent stuff that takes a Lovecraftian bent, The Ballad of Black Tom is really good. It's about a black man in New Orleans in the 20s, I think, who kind of gets caught up in some weird cult shit, and incredibly vaguely similar way to like a Get Out or a Nope, like is taking a sensible approach to everything, where it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking get myself eaten by a monster. No, I am going to do things in a way that keeps myself safe. And it's a very good book, and gets weird and wild, and pretty short. I recommend it. But yeah, I love the visuals of this game. I think it's very much doing the Myst thing in a quite solid way. And I might keep playing. I'm not sure. Depends on if I feel up to more walking sim after this session. The maybe the thing that's going to stick with me in this game is these images, just like these enormous stone rings that are just like clearly not natural. Like these are clearly, despite what she says, clearly man-made, right? Someone built this, and it's fucked up that they could do that somehow. Good shit. So yeah. This is Future Proof Plays. I am Gregory of Future Proof Games. We did not make this game, but we have made a bunch of other games. Notably, we have our role-playing games are currently on sale in the TTRPG bundle for trans rights in Florida. You can get a bunch of different role-playing games for $5. You get like hundreds and hundreds of games and supplements and materials for real cheap. If you give $10, you get some extra stuff. We've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars so far. It's not just us. We did not organize the bundle. We're just taking part in it. But raised a whole lot of money and hope to raise more to deal with some of the really shitty stuff that's happening in Florida. Other stuff. Melissa will have their stream, and I don't remember what it is. That'll be in a couple weeks. The Steam sale is still ongoing, unless I'm having a complete brain fart, in which you can get our game Ossuary and our game The Majesty of Colors Remastered. If you want a video game that is much shorter than this, takes a very different perspective towards Lovecraftian cosmic horror stuff. Steam sale is over? Okay. Steam sale just ended, I guess. Right, because switched over. Yeah. Steam sale is over. So there were so many things going on. There was also a GM's Day sale recently, and H.io Creators Day was a week ago at this point. All sorts of sales stuff going on. But yes, check out that bundle. You can check out our other games, all of our stuff at futureproofgames.com, and you can check out our game Exploit Zero Day for free at exploitzeroday.com. So that's it. Melissa will be streaming Samorost 3 on April 8th, which should have a just as striking of a visual style as this game does, but very, very different. And also some puzzly stuff like this game, but also very different. Samorost games are adorable. If you're an old Flash games fan, you probably have played some of them. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you very much for hanging out and watching. Thank you to the devs for making it, and keep an eye out for Call of the Sea VR, which is coming out. They are actively working on it, and I would guess it's coming out soon. I don't remember if they set a date, but they've been talking about it for a little while, so I bet it's coming out within the next year, would be my guess, but I don't know if they've set a date. Yeah. Thanks. Take it easy. You can check out our stuff. We've got a podcast. We're archiving streams again. Melissa is taking the lead on that, and so we're getting many more streams archived than we were when I was responsible for archiving my own streams. And I'm very grateful to them for helping with that. And that's about it. Take it easy. Be critical when you pull in old genres and old work. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out.
Life's a foolish game.